What's up, YouTube? As you can see, we have some very disgusting looking lug nuts here. These came off a 2014 Ford Fusion. They're 19 millimeter lug nuts. Here's one that's not mangled that bad. These chrome plated lug nuts, they swell up over time. And again, these are 19 millimeter lug nuts. They take a 19 millimeter socket and they swell up, and they no longer take the 19 millimeter. You try to go to the next size up, a 20 millimeter, and it's too big. You try some standard sizes, that doesn't work. I know they make a 19.5 and a 21.5. They make like lug nut sockets that are an extra half a millimeter bigger for these kinds of situations. But in my opinion, I've tried those before and they don't work that well. So when something like this happens, you have to basically hammer on an extractor and extract the lug nut. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work. It depends on how, torqued down the lug nut is. If the, previous person to work on the car, went crazy with their 1/2 inch impact for 10 seconds, torquing on the lug nut, well, good luck. I mean, at that point, it's going to take you forever to get it off, if you even do get it off. The reason I'm making this video is I just started YouTube, and I watch a lot of the popular guys on the popular channels on YouTube, like South Main Auto, Erico, and Rain Man Ray's Auto, and there's a ton of them. I'm leaving out a ton of them, but those are just two that came to the top of my mind. And one of the last videos I watched on Rain Man Ray's channel was he got a car and he had to take the wheel off to do a job. I don't remember what the job was, and one lug nut was just completely mangled, and he did everything that he could to get this lug nut off. He heated it up. He took the air hammer to it. He, tried every extractor he had, and nothing would work. Eventually, after like an hour, he did get the lug nut off, but he said, he asked the question in the video of, should you charge a customer for the extra time you're spending doing this? And when he asked that question, I said to myself, of course. And I remember, a lot of other videos that I've watched, I've heard this topic come up as well. So I just got a car that, again, I quoted the customer for a 4-wheel brake job, and this happened. And, before I actually started the job, I saw this and I said, okay, this is going to take extra time. And I explained that to the customer. Now, luckily, the customer is a good, has been with me for a long time, and they trust me. So they said, yeah, I mean, whatever it takes, however long it takes, you got to do what you got to do. If you're going to do a 4-wheel brake job, you got to take the wheel off. In order to take the wheel off, you got to take the lug nuts off. If they look like this, they look like this. But when I was watching the video on Rain Man Ray's channel, and he said, should you charge the customer? It just kind of, I was kind of just like, why is that even a question? Like, absolutely, you should charge a customer. To me, there's two situations where a job is going to take longer than it's supposed to. One is where it's not your fault and something like this happens, and you have to spend extra time to get the job done. And if you're spending an extra, if this job takes me, if you're a competent mechanic and you know how to do a job in a timely fashion, and the job takes you 4 hours to do because, let's say it's a 2-hour brake job, and then you spend 2 hours doing this. Now it's a 4-hour job. You should get paid for 4 hours. Now, vice versa. And we've all been there. I know I have. You do a job and you mess up on something, and now the job takes you an extra 2 hours. Maybe you broke a part. You have to replace the part. That's on you. You have to eat that. You have to eat that, and you have to learn from your experience and try not to let it happen again. And that's a good learning experience. But when it comes to something like this, and again, I just watched the video on his channel like 2 days ago, and then this just happened to me today. So I figured, why not make a video? I'm just starting out YouTube, and I just figured I'd make a video out of this. But if you're doing a job and you encounter something like this, and it's not your fault, and it takes extra time to do it, you should absolutely be paid for your time. If the customer, comes back at you and says, oh, well, you're just trying to get over on me, or, they were fine, they were fine before, it came to you, or, you said you were going to only charge me this much, and they're just unreasonable and they won't listen to reason. Okay, do the job for the customer, eat it up, and never take that customer back again. I mean, what are you going to do at that point? You have their car. you know, you can say, come pick your car up, I guess, or if you're already in the middle of a job and something like this happens, and you know, if you're in the middle of the job, you have to finish it at that point. But if they have a problem with it, just tell them to never come back again. But you know, like I said, I was watching a video recently, and something like this happened, and he said, should you charge, you know, extra? You know, should you charge extra for something like this? And he said that he does. And I said, yeah, you know, to me, it's a no-brainer. Absolutely, you should. So I just figured I'd make a little video on this, since, again, I just watched his video and something, you know, almost exactly the same happened to me today. And, you know, just give my opinion on it. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video.